A lot of people are talking about training intensity, training volume, and the main conversation they're kind of getting away with right now, or they're taking away from the conversation, is which one is better. Hey, what's up guys? Saunch here, and welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna close the door so I don't wake up my girlfriend. If you're new to the channel, we talk about military fitness, bodybuilding, supplementation, and nutrition. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, consider subscribing. In today's episode, we're gonna be talking about intensity versus volume. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. All right, guys, intensity versus training volume. So I've talked about training volume. I've talked about training intensity before in a previous video, and I've noticed on YouTube that a lot of people are talking about it. Greg Doucette's talking about it. Doucette. I think that's how you say his name, right? Greg Doucette. Sounds like a curse word. Jeff Nippard, Jeff Cavalier, some other guy. A lot of people are talking about training intensity, training volume, and the main conversation they're kind of getting away with right now, or they're taking away from the conversation, is which one is better. Now, I wouldn't say me personally that one is greater than the other. I think that each have their own place in your fitness and bodybuilding journey, but I will break down both of them for you guys and give you guys good examples of why I think one is more important in certain situations and why another one would be important in other situations. So according to Google, training volume is going to be, volume is measured by your total weight lifted. So you got sets times weight times reps. So typically my original programs, I'd have an exercise. So you got your bench, then you got your 5 sets, you got your weights and reps, and then you can calculate all that out to get your training volume for that one specific exercise. And it's a great way to measure your overall progression, your training progress in a long period of time. And it's also great to compare if you're doing different weights in different rep ranges. So if you're doing 5 sets of 5 1 week or 1 month, and then a year from now you're doing, say, 3 sets of 8, you know, something like that, but you're doing a heavier weight, sometimes that's going to actually match up with your heavier volume sets. It's kind of tricky because with volume can represent how much you're lifting, like the total reps, and it also can equal your total volume, as in how much you're lifting in terms of poundage. So you gotta be kind of careful with the terminology there, but I don't want you guys to get caught up in the weeds with that. Pretty much training volume is gonna be how much you lift. It could be your number of reps, or it could be your total volume, which would be sets times reps times weight. Intensity is going to be pretty simple. Intensity is going to be how hard you train. Simply put, Google says, referring to the level of effort a person exerts during an exercise relative to his or her maximum effort. How hard are you pushing towards your perceived exertion rate? However you're getting close to that level of exertion, the amount of force and intensity you're putting into that exercise, into your workouts, that's going to be kind of referencing to your total training intensity. So how do I feel about both of them, volume and intensity? Like I said earlier, I think they both have a very solid place in your training programs, in your bodybuilding journey, and I think there's going to be a lot of different times where you can take one over the other, and in the same facet or the opposite facet, you can put another over another. It doesn't really, I think people are just getting caught up with all this. They're getting stuck in the weeds. They're really getting stuck in the weeds. Bodybuilding is about, you know, building the physique that you can get. Same with weight training. I mean, there's certain goals that you have, and there's going to be different tools that you can use at certain times in your journey to get you to that point. So you can't. It's just a stupid conversation. It's a stupid argument. You know, people with PhDs and masters, they can, you know, whip their degrees out and argue about it all they want, but it's really going to come down to, there's a place for training intensity and there's a place for training volume. It's really going to depend on what you're going for. Training volume, I think If I were to give you guys a straightforward answer, training volume would be what I would consider is most important in your off season when you are in a caloric surplus and your cardio is regulated, lower intensity, not to get mixed up with intensity, but focusing more on building strength and size, and you're able to really put 100% effort into that training volume session, and you're putting weight on, you're putting size on. I feel like training volume is going to be more important in your off season. Kind of going off what we just talked about, training intensity, I feel obviously is going to be more important in your contest prep season, where you're going to be waking up in the mornings, knocking out your cardio. You're going to be training after work, or however you guys do your programs. I'm not going to tell you how to do it unless you want me to. Training intensity is going to be really important, that you have that mental connection, that focus, that drive, the intensity to accomplish those workouts, to really go for every rep, every set, really having that mind to muscle connection. Not so much focusing on putting on size and building strength, because that's for the off season. But for me, I'm gonna have to go on a limb and say training volume is going to be more important in your off season, and training intensity is going to be more important in your contest prep season. But it really comes down to that they're both great tools, and you should definitely keep it in your gym bag as potential options that you can use in your fitness journey, in your bodybuilding journey. So that's pretty much it, guys. That is my opinion. That is my diagnosis of the whole situation going on YouTube right now with training intensity and training volume. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. Like the video if you enjoyed this style of content, and if you enjoyed me in general, consider subscribing. But that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, thank you so much for stopping in and watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.